Hello, I'm Dan G.
Why hello, I'm Dan D.
And hello, this is Milf.
And right now, it's GT4 Prologue, not the full GT4, but a very tiny sliver of the game.
That some mags are claiming to have already reviewed.
Yes. Sliver of the game shaved off and given to us in advance of the finished product, or rather given to the Japanese market in advance. Doubtful as to whether it's going to come out over here before we get the full game. A taster for GT then, and yes, very good. I'd like some more, please. No other cars on the track, only 5 tracks, very tiny little part of the game, but it shows off sufficiently that GT4 is going to be very good in my book.
Yeah, does anyone care though? It's GT again, isn't it? It's exactly the same.
I mean, there's so many kind of realistic driving games in the market now. It's just, you know, do we need another one? I know it's GT and everything, and it plays very well, but
yeah.
It has been said that when you're looking at these in-car shots, for example, it's not as big a step as people would have liked. I think the rally stages is where you really kind of notice it.
But people are judging this kind of the second game on PS2 against the first game on PS2 when it was such a leap from PS1.
Yeah.
You know?
People have been slightly unfair with it. The handling model is even more real this time. You feel like the back end's going to come out and stuff. You really feel the weight of the cars a lot more. It does look better. I think people are a little bit disappointed with Prologue at the minute, just because there's nothing to race against. You're kind of driving around these empty tracks. They haven't quite put enough in it to kind of really kind of tease you into the full game. But I'm prepared to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I want to see the full game.
To be honest, I'll play devil's advocate, but I do know that when it comes in, it's going to be brilliant. There's going to be something you go, yeah, that's brilliant. That track's brilliant. That car's brilliant. Playing it is brilliant. Progression structure, brilliant.
You do still get a real buzz from doing the really tight city tracks.
Yeah.
The little kind of village one is brilliant to play.
Yeah, that's
Go down really tight little streets. It's great.
I lied to myself that it was over. It wasn't over.
A game that we played at the same time that you played it. That's the shocking truth. The game they tried to hide.
It's the game they didn't even show anyone until it was in the shops. Well, certainly, nobody.
Reason being, it's a little bit rough around the edges on your PS2, I'm afraid. It's a decent enough game, bites off slightly more than it can chew graphically, and as a result is slightly shonkier running than the previous game. Okay, if you were mad keen on the first one, you wanted some more, then give it a go, but having played the first game a lot, the first 5 minutes of this, you'll be wondering what the heck's going on, because it feels different, it looks different.
Yeah, I don't know what the place is for this anymore, because it's a poor conversion. This trailer makes it look absolutely brilliant as well, which is slightly misleading. But yeah, if you want realism in the environments, you get Getaway. If you want a really good shooty game with the novel bits, get something like Dead to Rights. And this bullet time effect, as good as it was 3 years ago, it's had its day, isn't it?
This trailer's the absolute business, though.
Oh, it is the business. I'm thinking, even though I know it isn't that good,
I want to play it.
I want to go and play it.
Yeah, exactly. People are watching this going, yeah, shut up saying it's rubbish. I'm not listening. No, it's not rubbish.
It looks brilliant.
It's not that good. It's not very good.
It's just a shame to be... PS2 can do better than this conversion is. And it's that sort of patronising. Yeah, well, we did it on Xbox, here it is.
At least he's not got his stupid scowl constantly on his face.
His
like
lavatorial...
Yeah.
Nice. He's taking bullets in his brain.
Yeah, okay. Not super great.
Oh, there he goes.
That's a pain.
Is that the fall of Max Payne?
That was it right there. Bam. Oh.
You pinball wizard, Dan?
Yes. No, only joking. It's pinball in space.
It's not quite in space. There's a thing in every review of a pinball game where you're contractually obliged to say, but of course, real pinball is on a thing with flippers, and it's this, and it's heavy, and you can't hear someone smoking on your head. But this knows that, and as a result, it's played to the medium of video games
Yeah.
by creating these incredibly exciting animated little forests within the pinball table. But I think this is... Oh, wait, it is just a pinball game. You have just got a few buttons. But the variety of stuff that's happening is always these mini games. The animations are really beautiful. It does feel solid, even though you're only whacking the X button on your DualShock. I think this is a really good game, and if you could pick it up at the right price, you'd be dead pleased.
Yeah, I mean, it's moving about very confidently. PSU's not having any trouble at all. It's very bright, very colourful. Lots of originality in stretching pinball literally as far as it can go. But, you know, there's still the undercurrent that it's still just pinball for me.
Yeah, it is just pinball, of course it is. I mean, they are just metal balls being whacked about, but they're good metal balls.
What exactly is a dark lineage?
Or a Kaya.
For that matter.
Well, I do know she's got the ability to control wind, which is... yes. Oh, yes,
Which
there
is
we
more
go.
than can be said for most of us. Fantastic.
But that controlling wind aspect's very, very good.
How does that manifest itself?
It's, well, basically, there's wind that blows, and you fly in it.
Good.
It's not that amazing, but you know, it's quite a novel thing. It's a game that expands as you go on, like most games. But you do learn new skills all the time, and so the more you play, the more exciting it gets. The more routes you've got to take. You can surf on your feet. That's brilliant. It's just one of these things. It looks nice, but not brilliant. It plays well, but not amazingly. It's good, but you wouldn't buy it in preference to Ratchet or Clank 2 and Jak 2.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, if you bought it, you might play it and like it, but would you go and buy it for yourself? I don't think you would.
It's kind of in a strange place. If this was next to Ratchet, and especially Jak 2 on the shelves, why pick this one? And the answer is there is no good reason. They'd have to have completely sold out or banned and burnt all existing Jak 2s for you to have to buy this.
If you offered a bundle pack of a PS2 and someone said free Kaya, that's a good thing.
Yeah, have it.
But, yeah.
It's okay. There's no reason for it to exist. I suppose if you're absolutely mad and you'd finished the games we've just been talking about, if you finished that and you wanted some more, then there's always this. Very
It's
nice.
just-
I mean, but personally, I'd rather play a BG&E, the game that nobody bought. I'd rather play BG&E than that, and even that's like second to
You'd
Jak 2.
rather carry a camera in a game where you can't actually hit anyone, flanked by a
Yes.
pig.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flanked by a pig.
Flanked by a pig.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go and buy BG&E. Well, while we're here, might as well tell you. Go and buy that. It's good.
Yeah, a game previously described by us as a choppy, glitchy World War II flight simulator. Who gives a shit? Actually, quite good.
Yeah.
I met the dudes at last year's E3 who were making this, and it was just, with all due respect, they were the most intense, quite boring men I've ever met. But they did make the brilliant TIE Fighter games, am I right to say, on
Yep.
PC?
Yeah.
Yep.
So but that's the thing with it, because everyone's gone, yeah, World War II flight sim, whatever, and then someone says, by the guys that did the TIE Fighter games, and everyone goes, oh, good. It's good. I mean, I'd rather play something like Deadly Skies or Ace Combat myself than me flight sim, flying fast, firing lock-on missiles, and this kind of thing. So this is kind of a little bit old school for me, a little bit kind of PC, oldie-worldy. But I'm sure it'll find a market somewhere. This, you know who you are. This is the game for you. It's a Spitfire flight simulator. Go and get it in. But not for me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a game where you look at it and go, because it doesn't look brilliant, let's be honest. But when you start to play it, you go, oh, quite challenging that. What am I another go? Just see if I can do this a little bit better. Oh, that was quite good. Oh, the next mission sounds intriguing. Just lose you right in. But most games like this, it's just the sky.
Shooting a dot in the middle of the sky.
I can see
isn't
the
it?
sky outside the window now. It might be grey, but at least there's no Spitfire planes.
It's the old game of aligning the little crosshair up with the black dot, and when dogfighting, it's quite generous in its dogfights, in that it will set up a plane in the middle of the screen who will helpfully sway about a little bit. dogfighting games go completely bananas when you're constantly flying past each other, just trying to get a lock on.
Probably the best flight game on PS2.
Yo. In a word,
Yo, indeed.
it's the word on the street. Yo, you want a piece of me?
I bet
Well-
you gotta kick some game or something
Yes.
first.
Have my ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like this.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
honestly.
good, thank God.
Honestly, I know you're looking at me then thinking it's going to be an absolute turnip. I like this. It's, I suppose, NBA Street or
Red
Card Soccer fused together in this sort of. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? I don't think this ever happens in real life. People getting together in like casual sportswear to
Yeah.
bust out some fly moves. It happens in Nike adverts,
Yeah.
which is good, but this isn't the Nike advert. If this was like
Bosh.
Edgar Davids approved and sponsored
Yo.
by Nike, it'd be massive. But the moves are really impressive, and like you've got to use them to score, which means they're not just like a frivolous little extra. You have
Yeah,
got to bust your gut to get some goals in.
Bickety
Look at that.
Bam.
Doing that last night.
Yeah, right. Look at it. Not so bad. Doesn't look too bad.
No,
the
it's
live,
alright.
the live action stuff's that looks shit. And it's putting me off.
Plays a fairly solid game of football, but you know it's. I don't know. Again, would you pay full price for it?
It's a strange one. I mean, I prefer like NBA Street over NBA Live, but I'd rather play proper football than
Interesting.
the mini football. I think,
Look at that.
no matter how balmy it got.
Just had a lot of fun shooting this video, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Good skills as well. Mad skills. I'd say. Netbuster.
Whack.
It looks like a sort of.
No, not whack. Good.
Looks like a commercial for milk or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or winners don't smoke.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
They're clearly
And play football.
loving it. Oh yeah. And EA are going to rip this off, aren't they? They've got to do that.
Apparently they're not going to this year, but if they do FIFA Street and they get Edgar Davids in and Raul and all the world's best players doing their best signature moves,
Yeah.
it could be absolutely ginormous. Particularly if they do it in the style of the Nike adverts, set it on a boat or something.
Yeah.
Or
That's-
in an
that's the
airport like
important
the
bit.
Brazil advert. It'd be brilliant.
Retro games are brilliant, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they
Fantastic.
They rule MILF, that's what I'm going to say.
Except they don't.
Oh, well, they sort
Not
of
all
do.
the time.
Games these days are totally not as good as this, are they? This is what it was all
Just
about.
look at the pixels on that. None of your polygon rubbish.
There's some good games on this. So Gauntlet, admittedly, almost 20 years ago in the arcade, 4-player on a huge machine, was an immense fun. Looks like a pig's ass, but I mean, it good game. Paperboy as well.
Paperboy. Boy
Freaking-
made entirely out of paper.
How
Brilliant.
fast it is! It's brilliant.
Look at it. Oh, my eyes. Ow.
And that brilliant bit where you went on the dirt track afterwards.
Oh.
Oh, I love that bit.
Wicked. Arcade Treasures is kind of pushing it a bit.
Yeah,
right?
it's a shade. I mean,
Oh,
look at
Spy
Spy
Hunter.
Hunter. Who needs a new version? In your face is what it's all about. It really is a case of I looked at this and it's going to be rubbish. Then I looked at the list of games and thought,
Yeah.
If
it
you're,
is going to be the best thing ever because I loved all of these games.
Yeah,
if you're old
Smash
enough,
TV.
if you're old enough to remember a lot of these, then you will find something here.
Yeah,
at least,
yeah.
at least
Yeah,
for like half an hour per game.
Yeah, half an hour
Absolutely.
during which you realise that it's nowhere near as good as you remember it.
You get around your equally old mates and go, what
Yeah.
I've got, and they go, oh, that's brilliant. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll turn it off now, will you?
Good one. It's
Oh, that's a game.
they've got to be admired for putting so much stuff on because lots of arcade compilations they get a little bit cheeky and put like 4 or 5 games on. I mean, what's that like?
It's got
15?
about 20.
Oh, 720 though, for a P&L. I still love this.
Yeah.
Look how good it is. In your face, Tony Hawks.
Is that Tony Hawk on the GBA, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at the speed of that.
I used to skate there when I was a kid.
Bam.
Old
Look at it
Polygon
go.
Island. Yeah. Brilliant.
Good.
It's weird, this one, isn't it? 'Cause
It is.
you think it looks like a good game, and it's
Yeah.
an incredible impression of a good game,
Yeah.
but only on the surface. And
This-
they've just made some absolutely fundamental design errors.
This footage you're seeing here, you're probably going to think we're lying. It's like they employed somebody on the last day of production to deliberately handicap everybody else's work and just screw things up. The stealthy bits, the hiding in the dark bits, where there's two different types of dark, where you're not quite... am I in the right kind of shadow so I'm invisible? Or am I not? You don't know.
To be invisible, you've got to stand in a shadow for 5 seconds. And first of all, I thought that was like a woolly, oh, that's just default with the game thing. But that's actually the way they want it to be. So you have to stand there for 5 seconds, and that's provided, as you say, the shadow is a dark shadow as opposed to a non-dark shadow. So instantly you've got this massive confusion zone, which is like, well, what's this all about? And there's things like grappling hooks. I like grappling hooks. I like to be able to throw a grappling hook whenever I fricking want and go up something. But no, not in Rogue Ops. What you've got to do is look for the grappling zone interaction point.
Fire it at
Eye it with the third-person view, or whatever it is, first-person view. And then you're allowed to throw your grappling hook
and
in the designated zone.
All the bad guys are they're familiar with the rules of the game. And so when you're stood in a corner thinking you're in the dark, they just come and attack you. Why are you stood there? That's not shadow. So there's that going on, and plus the fact that you just don't know where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. Am I invisible? Aren't I invisible? Can I use this weapon here? It's just you blundering about. You're the worst agent ever. You go into this building, you're blundering about, making a hash of stuff. But there's better. There's so much better, and it's. I mean, it's sad that they completely bungled it, because graphically, some of the levels aren't that bad.
Quite nice, and you can play it and get through it and have a reasonable time, but you're always up against not just a heavily armed team of supervillains, but the criminal-like dynamics of the game. It makes it very, very hard. Admittedly, again, I'm looking at it and thinking, I don't believe my own words, it looks brilliant.
It looks brilliant.
But this is the sad truth of it.
Either buy Manhunt or wait for Metal Gear 3, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different sort of thing. But if you really want this game, pick up Splinter Cell on the cheap. Or wait for Splinter Cell 2.
Mm. Aye.
I know.
I Ninja. No, little comedy ninja. Brilliant. I don't know.
This game, again, it's one of those horrible games where we can sit here till we're blue in the face going, this game's brilliant. You have to buy this game.
Yeah.
And I know full well if I went to the shop today and I had a choice of this or something by EA which looked real and was dead good, I'd probably buy that thing from EA. And that is horrible because this is such a good game. And if we don't buy these games, they won't make these games.
Won't make them.
But look at this, it's like Monkey Ball from that Nintendo machine. That's brilliant. Look at that. That's amazing. And it combines all the time. It's just like a sequence of little mini games.
Yeah, it's kind of it keeps on giving because you're not quite sure what's round the next corner, and there's lots of brilliant, clever ideas just back to back, one after another. And it's not realistic. It hasn't got a voiceover by Michael Madsen. It's just it's kind of taking the piss really out of every video game that's gone before. It's as far as platform action goes. If something like Jak 2 is trying to be quite sort of serious, and no, this is character action these days. This is just mad platform stuff. It's great fun.
It harks back to an era where it was really all about this character-driven platform stuff, like your Sonics and your Marios. And in that era, this would have been a contender. And now it's just like a really good example, harking back to the past. But it just doesn't.
Look at that. I mean, you're getting like multipliers for killing stuff. You're getting a score. You know, it's.
That looks hard and good.
It's rocking on.
Yeah, but it's cliche. It's a real gamer's game. You want to test your reflexes and your skills. It's all there. This is good. The boss battles. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots when you get in behind in the first person view.
Yeah, it's cool. If you've had your PlayStation for a while now, you probably remember the old Destruction Derbies, both of which are by Reflections, the guys who do Driver. This is nothing to do with Destruction Derby as you know it in that case, because it's basically Sony on the name. An online game, a very simple online racing game that for me is kind of more of a technical demonstration as to what can be done with an online racing game rather than one that's actually any good. I didn't enjoy playing this single player at all. I found it too basic. It reminded me of something like Rumble Racing.
Yeah, it does.
Rumble Racing was cool. You know, that was really good. But very basic, colourful, fun. I don't know. It wasn't action-packed enough, and it wasn't serious enough, and the tracks were too small.
It sort of exists solely to give people a reasonable online game, just to say, look, it can work. And it doesn't feel like the old Destruction Derby games, where the beauty of that was like the damage of the cars, and for the first time ever saying, oh my word, look, this car, I can smash the front of it.
Yeah. That was once a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is just, the cars look like some sort of like Lego Dayglow child's toy or something. It just doesn't seem to work very well.
There's this real kind of like NASCAR look to the cars, which I think is kind of, for the European audience, it's you know, just a little bit too young. I mean, I'd rather be driving
Playing Burnout.
Yeah, I'd rather be driving like Need for Speed style cars, you know, the kind of those Fast and the Furious style cars, than these sort of big fat American things.
I think in single player it's got deeper problems with things like AI and people inexplicably appearing in front of you and having to score points all the time for no particularly good reason. It just seems, yeah, it's just not a game.
No, I mean, online works okay, but it's exactly what you expect, in that you're getting barged off the track by people that you can't see, and you don't know quite who it was that knocked you off. And so the overwhelming feeling is that it's just unfair.
Yes, Groove Rider.
Is it a racing game where you don't have to turn the car on corners?
Well, it's technically Scalextrics, but on PS2. So, and it does sound absolutely dreadful. All you can do is move between those 4 lanes and go fast.
It is at best original sounding then.
Yeah. But it's weird because it is kind of, you play it and you're snorting. This is pathetic. I'm much better than this game. It's a rubbish game. But then you come second and go, damn you, rubbish game, for making me go second. I'm going to play you again and show you who's the boss around here. And before you know it, you keep playing it, and it's quite reasonable, and it's damn cheap.
Do you ever fall off the track?
I think you can, but
Wait.
yeah, you've got to do something like boost at the wrong time and jump off the track.
Yeah. You know what we were saying about Rogue Ops, about how it looked great, and was in fact rubbish.
Yes, I think I know where this is going.
The opposite applies here.
I mean, this isn't brilliant. I'm just thinking for
Everyone's watching this going,
£10.
so let me get this straight, you don't have to turn the corners. Very clever, kind of Micro Machines-y thing. And cheap. 10 quid, you know, but would you rather get something on Platinum or something?
You're better off playing, I'm not saying bad, but like a proper game, buying it from the second-hand bucket. Just looking the mag and picking up a game that you've always fancied, but never quite thought out, but rather than get this. This is for like confused mums, this game. People who just want a cheap game, basically, and it's totally fine. It's just totally fine. You know, dig your Scalextrics out. Something.
Confused mums.
Yeah.
Or if you ever wanted to have an enormous Scalextric track, but your mum wouldn't let you, then this is all your dreams come true.
It's for some reason. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The mighty Hugo.
Oh,
Really,
where do you start with this crap?
Oh, it's harsh. It's not harsh, actually. It's just it's true.
The truth.
Yeah, it's just true. It's very easy
Look,
to
the
knock a
gates-
comedy kart racer, particularly one as utterly rubbish as this, where there's just fundamental problems in it, and that you think, oh, I'm quite an old geezer, I can play this game, it's no problem. And then you go towards the gates you've got to hit, and the gates walk away from you. And you're like, how can the gates move? What? And then you look up, and the gates are attached to like this ridiculous insectoid like monster going, ho ho ho, you have to chase me now, and it's rock hard.
Playing the game is
Look at that, the gates are moving.
playing the game is about entertainment and feeling good about yourself. This promotes misery.
And it's a game obviously aimed at small children.
Yeah.
And alright, the colours might it's a distracting game.
Yeah, look, see, missed the game.
Oh,
Look at that! That's outrageous!
The gate twatted him. Jesus, it's so unfair. It's a game aimed at small children and making them sad and cry.
Yeah, that's awful. It's unforgivable.
Oh look,
There's a lot of game modes, but they all amount to this. The frame rate isn't very good either, and it's just.
There's a big green blob that you're driving across. No, like not even. No.
It's not the worst game on PS2.
It's pretty close.
No,
Get
but
up for it,
it
though.
really is. It's in.
I
It's not
can't
in
even work
it's-
out where the track is. What's going on?
Well, yeah, because the draw distance is so tightly in that you can't react to where. Again, if you absolutely love Hugo, and to be honest, I mean, and
Well,
if
who
you-
doesn't? You know?
Yeah, exactly. That is true.
Who on earth?
And you like games that aren't very
No.
good, and you're young, and you just want to press. It's like you may as well be in the arcade when you're a kid, and you a game. There's no money in it. There's no money in it. And
Yeah.
you're just pressing the
You
buttons.
just I'm wibbling the handle
and you're
about.
pretending you're doing something.
Yeah.
It's not far off that.
In fact, go and do that.
More fun.
Go to your arcade and don't put any money in machines. Hello there.
Hello.
Alright, mate. This is brilliant. I really like this. It's weird. It's not online. It's not going to be online. They've pretty much said it. Alright, they've pretty much said it's not going to be online
100%,
in the
but
UK.
it's likely it won't.
It's
be
like
online.
99.9.
Yeah.
So you have this mindset of oh well, that's crap, then we're only getting half the game. I hate this game. But when you play it, it's really, really good. It's got scenarios, I think it's 5 scenarios where that are all surprisingly big and really, really varied. So if you have an established kind of resi game like something like Code Veronica, it kind of takes you to 3 different locations and does all the usual resi stuff. This one, it's just got every idea chucked into it. You're off on because the missions are completely separate, non-related at all. It can do whatever it wants, and so it's all over the place. And you get that feeling, you get that excitement of reaching the end and finishing it. You get that 5 times, instead of one long kind of jaunt into it. The AI characters are a bit stupid, but at least they're there, and at least they behave in kind of predictable ways.
Bosh.
You find yourself picking up guns and giving guns to other characters, and then they can take the flak for you, they can shoot for you and stuff. Forget the online. Even without the online, I think this is really, really good. With the online, it would be a must-buy because you can play it and have great fun if you haven't got the online stuff, and then the online would be the icing on the cake. Unfortunately, we haven't got that little bit extra, but I still think it's great. I loved it as much as Code Veronica, easily. Looks great, full 3D environments, lots of characters, lots of stuff going on, but it's just for the sheer variety of stuff. New moves, things like even if you haven't got the key, you can kick down doors depending on which character you play as. And so there's kind of limited scope for even replaying the missions as different characters to find out what's going to happen. Trying to keep your teammates alive so they can help you. Certain things, only certain characters can do. It's great. Hiding under the bed.
It is really it's tense, I think, because you can't just storm through. People have got to help you, otherwise you're not going to do it. So you can't just run away and go, "Woohoo, it's all about me." It's like the guy in the horror films who runs away and tries to stitch people up and gets all mangled.
Yeah,
You've got to play for the scene. It's really good.
it is. When it's out, go get it because it's well worth it.
It won't be in Japanese.
Yeah.
We used to play here all the time. Yeah. Is your leg okay? Does it hurt? It does a little bit. I'm fine.
Fatal Frame 2, this is good news because I believe Ubisoft have picked this up
That's
to release it in
right.
the UK. That's great news because this is good. And it's a little bit different. It's sort of a different... who would think that a survival horror game where you have to take pictures of ghosts would be scary?
Yeah.
But it is quite scary.
It is. Well, I find it very scary. You find like sort of tapes of stuff. It's all a bit Blair Witch and a little bit nasty, to be honest. Yeah, there's no sort of massive machetes and jets of blood coming out of arteries and stuff. But yeah, you see, it's all very creepy. Kind of that Silent Hill creepy rather than kind of resi gore kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like slow, sharp bit, slow, and then you just get weird trailer scratchy exits.
It's like Ring then.
Yeah, a little bit like
Yeah,
Ring.
that's a good shout because it's that inspired by that kind of that darkness and just general spooky, nothing happening scariness, rather than like the full-on sort of action. This and Forbidden Siren, I think it's going to be a close call as to which one you're going to get, because they're going to end up going up against each other.
It's an exciting time. It's an exciting-ish time for survival horror because you've got this Forbidden Siren. Very soon, there's the Outbreak. Then you've got Silent Hill 4 coming.
Yeah, which looks brilliant.
Yeah, it does look brilliant. And then they're all good games and all worth buying.
Yeah. There's a lot of them about. You're going to have to choose very carefully. I'd go for Resi and Silent Hill. I know you're a big Silent Hill dude.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with the Hill, but I mean, it's not out for another how many months, so certainly this is worth it. If it's the sort of thing you like, slow, patient games, a little bit weird, this is brilliant.
I know what that says.
Yeah, I know what that says as well.
It says Onimusha.
Does it though? It might say, it might just be an intro screen, you don't really know what it is. You know what the game is?
Yeah.
It could say, well
Could.
done for buying another game from Capcom.
Onimusha. Blade
Warriors.
Kind of a spin-off, really. When it was first announced, I was thinking, oh, brilliant, more Onimusha already, but it's kind of stopgap between 2 and the Jean Reno crackers madness that is going to be Onimusha 3. Quite a straight stand-up fight, scrolling beat 'em up kind of vibe with it. A little bit more 3D than your usual kind of scroller. There's a little bit more going on, but you know, quite basic.
It's not actually fully 3D, is it? You have to
No.
jump from kind of plane to plane, like in and out of the screen, which is a bit disappointing because I mean I was hoping it was going to be like Power Stone, the old Dreamcast game, which was brilliant, but it's a little more simple.
It looks quite nice. It's all your favourite locations from the Onimusha games, which I know about 2,000 people bought the original Onimusha games,
Yeah.
which is tragic. But I'm a massive fan of the Onimusha games.
Oh, look at that!
Definitely get them in.
The business.
All the characters are basically brilliant. And for me, the prospect of Yugai Yagyu or whatever, so Yubei Yagyu fighting Samanosuke is massively exciting. To other people, that just sounds like complete nonsense, but there's such rich, powerful characters. To put them together is amazing, and there's everyone
There you
from
go.
the Onimusha
Check it.
universe in there, pretty much. And he's a baddie, Nobunaga. He really is a baddie.
Such a bad man.
Yeah. The control system is the same as the standard games, which in a way is, if we're beating up a bit disappointing because it is quite limiting. So the game has to rely on a lot of power-ups,
Bosh.
which is a little bit trivialising.
Hello there, I'm Dan G,
Hello, I'm Dandy.
And this is Jordan.
And this is MILF.
and we're looking at Spy Hunter 2. A game which I thought was going to be really good and a lot better than the first one, which had a lot of promise as it was, but new developers, bit of a rush job, didn't quite turn out the way that I was expecting anyway.
I think perhaps the critical thing is that the guys, Angel Studios, who were making this, got bought by Rockstar halfway through this game's production. And it almost felt like they're sort of fulfilling their contractual obligations to get it done. There's bits in the game later on where you get shot, the boats shooting at you, then the boats go missing, but bullets keep firing at you,
Yeah,
which is weird.
yeah, it sort of smacks of they didn't really have much sort of interest in finishing the game, and they were obliged to, and they did. It doesn't feel as good and as sort of fun as the first game at all. The two are very sort of unrelated. I'd go with something like James Bond. I'm not a great fan of the James Bond, the new Everything or Nothing game, but it's doing everything a lot better than this is anyway.
Yeah, I think the big problem is, again, is the fact it's not very well balanced. There's levels where it's pretty easy. Levels near the end are pretty easy. There's levels near the start that are nigh on impossible because you haven't got a clue what to do.
And it seems they also removed the sections in the first game where you drive up into the weapons truck, and that was half the fun, sort of like the Knight Rider buzz of it.
Yeah.
And they've pulled that out. God knows why.
Yeah, it's got the crazy thing of turning into a bike and turning into a boat, so your car turns into more stuff. But despite what it looks like, it's a really simple shoot 'em up. there's kind of a lot of really heavy emphasis on auto-targeting, holding down fire, infinite ammo, this kind of thing. It's
I don't want to be too negative because it's not without fun, and it is.
Yeah.
It's reasonable. It's just I guess this game could have been really brilliant given how, surprisingly good the first game was. But shame.
Sonic Heroes. I found this too old hat for me. I was really looking forward to playing it as well, and then when I was having a go, it just really reminded me of the good old days, and reminded me a lot of the first sort of Dreamcast Sonic adventures. Not enough new stuff, and then you're in the weird position of, do you want new stuff? What they've added, what they've changed. This teamwork with the 3 characters doesn't really add that much. It's all very obvious which character you should be leading with, and ultimately the thing that's always wrong with Sonic in its 3D guise is that you are being channeled along a narrow route very, very quickly, because that's the fun of Sonic. So there's a lot of moments where you're not really thinking that you're very much in control, and you're not really playing the game. It's kind of...
like exciting cutscene moments where you get blasted on a trajectory that you can't control.
Yeah.
But I think that was the beauty of the 2D games, that it was literally, this is linear, and it worked. But the move to 3D, Sonic, he doesn't like 3D, and he's never really got to grips with it.
Yeah. These days, I mean, look at this sort of 3D. This is full-on 3D environment. It's a very narrow little path. That camera panned out there as you swooped around. You had no control over what you were doing. You might as well have put the joypad down, and it would have still done exactly the same thing. Yeah, I mean, respect you, but now in this day of 3D, free roaming, doing what you like, this is looking very old hat.
But interestingly, still went to #1 in the charts.
Yeah.
That might be because it was released on all 3 of the major formats, but has Sonic still got what it takes?
Would appear so.
Damn, it's colourful and fast enough. It looks like it'd give me a migraine in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the stuff that they did in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, they really kind of honed on this, and graphically it looks fantastic, and it is very, very quick. But there is always this nagging feeling that you're not really fully in control of what you want to do, and you just following this path all the way through.
I still like Sonic though, in a weird way.
He's a nice guy. More platform madness.
Oh, Whiplash! I did quite enjoy it. It was one of the funnier games I've played in the last year or so. The voice acting, it would get on your nerves after a while, but Weasel spanks the Weasel, haha. And then there's Redman the Rabbit, who's making all the smart-ass comments, but he deserves to make all the smart-ass comments because he's getting his ass kicked all the time. He's being used as your contextual weapon, being smashed against computer panels.
He's the little dude,
around.
is he?
Yeah, he's the little guy on the end of the chain, the
Yeah.
rabbit right there. It's a lot of fun, but it's it's just another platformer. There's a good political context in terms of I think you're using him as a fuse there. There's good political context in terms of you're beating up scientists who are actually mistreating the animals in the first place. So it's commenting on corporatism and animal mistreatment. It's funny as hell, but
By bashing a scientist with a flaming rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it looks great as well. I mean, it's by Crystal Dynamics, the Legacy Game people, and the guys that.
So this is how Tomb Raider could look.
Yeah, Tomb Raider's going to be just exactly
Lara with
the
a
same.
rabbit.
Yeah, on a chain, spanking.
You are the
weasel.
hero of all the animals, as you see here. You're releasing the chimpanzees. Poor little buggers. Look, being
Oh.
processed. I think they're going to be painted or turned into something else. But
God damn them!
he's got an afro.
Even worse. Oh dear. It's very good. I mean, a nice, fun platform game, but I'm getting a bit sick of that. I mean, we had like iNinja last month. It was good, but just not different enough.
All the publishers are thinking PS2's 4 years old, consoles getting younger, kids want platform games. That might be true, but there's so many just okay platform games.
Yeah.
Why would you buy any of them? And it's always the same old cliche. Why would you buy any of them in front of in front of Jak 2
Yeah.
or Ratchet and Clank 2?
Although the other problem with this is far too many of the sections of the levels are just relatively blank, empty corridors. Although this stuff is very fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Oh yeah, he uses them as a helium balloon.
Yes.
Oh, well, this is the absolute best game ever. I try to be objective about this. I know it's 15 years old, but this is
Look at this.
absolutely brilliant.
Do not adjust your set. It actually looks like this. it's pretty. I mean, if you are, you've been playing games for a bit, this is just going to fill you with nostalgia. If you come to it in the last couple of years, this looks like shit on toast. It's a classic.
20,
Stay with us. It's
Look
a
at that.
classic.
20 quid this is.
Yeah.
And you get a free film with it.
And for the free film, the old manga movie, very good.
Yeah.
Really good film, exciting. Really good Guile fight scene in it, as I remember. Yeah, what this is, it's just the most... It's sort of balanced. It's just the most exciting, tight, playable beat-em-up probably ever. And I think only maybe recently Tekken could lay claim to have a finger on it. But for me, this is still... It's the pinnacle of 2D beat-em-ups.
Yeah.
And it doesn't overcomplicate things with massive screen raining fireballs and all this stuff. It's very pure, very precise. Every single button press has a sort of an instant reaction. It's just a massively tense game.
It's good. I mean, it's always, in comparison to sort of the 3D stuff that we're more used to, it's interesting to come back to sort of the purity of being able to see every single move by each character, and you know what kind of punch brought you down, and you can kind of plan what you want to do. And these days of like sort of button mashing and having a 3D character do some fantastic, like in Soul Calibur, if you just hammer some buttons, the guy looks like he's doing something fantastic. If you're button mashing in this, you look a bit of a fool.
You'll get taken out because every move, someone will discover a move and you'll think it's invincible. Then you'll find the one punch that will negate that. Then the entire dynamic of your fight will change.
Yeah.
So then you have to work out another move to beat that guy. And it keeps building and building and building this entire pyramid of like moves can beat other moves. So before you know it, you're both really, really good at it, and games are just unbelievably tight. It's brilliant. It's a man blowing a pipe. Hi Sphinx. I know what game this is.
A favourite.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't remember that blowpipe game.
Yeah.
You know what we're into? We're into another good platformer territory here.
It's
And if you wanted an Egyptian-themed platformer, by Prince of
well, we all
Persia.
know how well Persia sold. Yeah, this is just... To be honest, I think with platform games, they live and die by how much you like the main character.
Yeah.
This is why Sonic is selling quite well, because whatever you say about his games, he's a really good bit of character design. I actually like Sonic.
Yeah.
Mr. Sphinx.
Well, Mr. Sphinx, Mummy, quite nice. I quite
Yeah,
like the
Mummy's quite
character.
funny.
Don't you
But
only get to play as a mummy quite far into the game?
Yeah, well, it's not so far. The main issue with me was that the two of them don't sort of work together. We got Weasel nonsense. We got Whiplash. We got that. We got
Project Kaya.
two characters
Kaya, Dark
working
Lineage.
working together. In this, two characters very, very different. Conventional platform hero, and then there's the Mummy, who's kind of indestructible and a bit useless. But he's vital for solving certain puzzles. But you're not sort of given the choice of choosing which one you want to be as, or the two working together. It kind of, at the start of the level, there's a cutscene which furthers the story, and you're kind of told, right, you are now going to be this character, and what you've got to do is this. Not ideal.
Such a perfect evening for
Ooh. It's kind of,
That's
it's,
my day.
you kind of want to like this.
Is it Shinobi with breasticles?
Pretty much.
With breasticles, as they're known in the trade.
You don't want to like this. This first scene's rubbish. Fighting on the top of the plane. The cutscene movie looks good, but
Have that.
the actual in-game stuff is blocky and jumpy, and I didn't like it at all.
The first PS2's Shinobi, I reviewed that, and I wanted to give it a lot of love, but the annoying drops off edges.
This bit is hard, all the jumping. Not this bit particularly, but just as it goes on. It's very Mega Drive, everything about it. A very precise, must jump in this way to make this here. And if you've got the patience to keep hammering away, and when you get it, there's that sense of reward of, good grief, that was hard, I wouldn't have to want to do that again. But then you die, and then you go, can't do that again.
You'll do a section like this, and you go, I'm the world's coolest ninja ever.
That's cool.
And you go, bam, how cool am I? And everything falls apart, and you look really good. And then you go, that rooftop cleared. And then there'll be a 6-foot jump to the next rooftop, and if you fumble it ever so slightly, you fall down between the buildings, and you go back to the start. It's got ruthless restart points, and
I see it.
it kind of takes you by surprise. You really don't expect a game to punish you for just kind of slightly fumbling the control, slightly falling off a ledge.
It's pixel perfect jumping. If you're 3 or 4 pixels too far to the left or to the right,
Yeah.
you're just not going to make it. It's too frustrating.
Yeah, I guess, but there's people who kind of like that. I don't mind it, but it's one of those games you'll sit with a group of friends and go, give me the bloody pad, I'll sort this out, you know,
let
I'll
me
do
have a
this
go.
now. But yeah,
It's got the other thing. It's got the classic kind of bosses, and I just point this out. I absolutely hate trying to kill things in the air, and you just jumping up, swiping your sword until you kind of make contact with them. Terrible. But I was going to say about the boss men. There's weak spots on the bad guys, and you just out how to kill them. It's very old school. It's very. Hello, Asterix, who, in the game, much like our very own Dan Dawkins, has a Welsh accent.
yes. I was going to do a Welsh accent, but I did it a minute ago and the recording didn't work and I haven't got it in me to do it again.
We're
Mate,
doing it now.
You're doing it right.
Yeah, I know. But like a proper Welsh.
Welsh like Asterix. We're in a world of platformers. I think this month it's getting harder and harder to tell them apart. Lots and lots of very average platformers. You did quite like this though, Dan, didn't you?
Well, it's all right. It's Asterix. It's perfectly good. They could have done a lot worse. When he takes the potion, he speeds up and he whacks loads of little people, which I like. Obelix is pretty funny. Gerard Depardieu isn't in the game, which is brilliant. And yeah, it's all right. You know,
It's okay. If that's the best thing.
what is weird
it's
though,
okay.
it's a game kind of aimed at the kids, and I'm just thinking back to my school days when Asterix was almost part of the national curriculum, and you go into the library, and it'd always be gone, and you'd end up having to have a freaking Tintin book, which no one wanted, because all the Asterix ones would be out. You'd have to go in dead early to pick them up. But does that still happen? Maybe the kids get different books now, and as a result, it's a kids' game aimed at
Clever.
retro-loving adults.
But hey, there's Dogmatics in there. You can't go wrong with Dogmatics.
No, he's a piece of dog. He's quite cool. And yeah, the guards look cool. There's lots of bashing.
The Romans fight in their sort of traditional box shape.
Oh, look
Here
at
they
that.
are,
Oh,
right,
that-
right
you
on
got to say
cue.
that is good.
There's a
isn't it?
wild boar, but they don't cook them up, do they?
It's doing that. Oh, I like that as well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, what can we think of it? This is brilliant. What am I on about? But yeah, this is what we were saying before. It's all about your lead character. Asterix, quite a good lead character. Particularly because he's Welsh in this version of the game. And everyone likes Obelix.
I wonder what the French are going to have to say about a Welsh Asterix. I can only hope that they don't get the same.
They love it, won't they?
Probably say Ned.
Yo,
It's NFL Street Y'all.
taking it to the streets. Yeah, EA Big, getting slightly overambitious. Is there no sport that they can simplify?
Is that-
That's not the streets.
No, it's a beach.
NFL Beach.
Imagine you lived
NFL
on an island. Would this be a beach?
What happens when there's a freak wave?
Yeah, it's let's face it, this
It's the end of the
is
street, isn't it?
it's not realistic.
But in a good way.
It's okay, this. I mean, but not as good as NBA Street, and especially Volume 2. They simplify a sport, they make it more fun, they have a crazy voiceover and lots of crazy characters, and it's a lot of fun. American football is quite sort of... There's still a lot of tactics and there's a lot of messing about, and it's not quite as immediate as your basketball. So even though
that is
even though it looks
scary for any man.
yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
The making out it's as funky as you like, but you look at that screen and it's still quite a serious, scary game.
But I think the thing is, it's not as accessible for every man as NBA Street, and it's not as in depth as John Madden, which is very, very good. It's one of these games they've released purely because it's been made. It's going to sell loads in the States, and they think, well, it's finished now. We may as well bring it to Britain and just see how many it sells. Nothing lost, because it's not as if we had to pay just to get it sold in Britain.
Yeah.
Stylistically, though, the slow motions on the big passes and the touchdowns looks pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, it's nice looking. They really do know what they're doing. It's just the reason for this game exists. It's nice. It's slightly dubious. They've got Def Jam, which is the sort of street Knockout Kings. You know, the
It's very
Oh,
exciting.
he's excited.
I think they'll have to watch. They don't sort of stretch the EA big stuff too far. This is kind of stretching the point for me slightly.
There's always been the rumour of doing, well, I don't know, you can say it, like an EA big football, but no.
This ain't nothing but heart.
The slowest car chases in the world.
My word, really.
Oh,
Realism shouldn't extend to driving a car at 30 miles an hour through very quiet square streets. It's not my idea of a good time. But it's alright, this.
it's Grand Theft Auto in the 1930s.
Wait here, friend. Sam will get
and
you a little something.
doesn't that sound
from Mr.
appealing?
Salieri.
Clever, ambitious, really good, original, unique take on the Grand Theft Auto genre, which everybody is ripping off like crazy. Lots of story, lots of missions, slow cars, slightly cumbersome outer car kind of combat. Feels like your PS2 is having a hell of a time moving everything around.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Nice.
You got
If you give it the benefit of the doubt and you prepare to like forego the chunky controls, slightly clunky graphics, and slow car chases, it's okay. But you know, there's better games out there.
In the shooting bits, there's bits where a man is hiding behind a settee, for example, and you know he's there, and he's going to pop out when you cross an invisible line in the floor to shoot you. So you think, I won't let him shoot me, I'll shoot him. So I'll shoot him over the top of the settee in his head, which kills most people, even if they're part of the mafia. But not in this game, because he's not active as a kill target until you go over the invisible line, which is frankly a bit of a nonsense.
Yeah, it's moments like that that sort of shake any sort of feeling of involvement with the game and stuff. So not ideal. Ignore the words preview version in top of the screen. That was just to prevent us from reviewing this finished code.
Swearing.
Oh, baseball bats.
Yeah, swear.
You also get Tommy guns, don't you?
Yeah, there's all manner of authentic weapons, cars, and
Authentic
men's
plot lines
fashions.
along the lines of running alcohol during the Prohibition
Yeah.
and big gang battles over alcohol
Hold
distribution.
this barrel of booze whilst I set your feet in concrete
And you
and
can
call you a mother funkster.
and you can nick cars as a kind of a sideline to the kind of the main plots. But it's whether you'd want to.
Dark. Holiday-ish. A new game.
It can only be Haunted Mansion.
Oh, at last.
Oh, brilliant. I've been watching all the trailers on the net. I've been waiting for this one for years.
It's the unofficial supplement to the film of the Disney ride. Is that right? I mean, that's a pitch. That's high concept.
Oh, come on, it's got Eddie Murphy in it.
Well, this
sorry,
has
sorry.
it.
Does not
Yeah.
look like Eddie Murphy. He's extremely white and frail.
It's alright, this, though, isn't it?
It's weird, yeah, because as dubious as the reason for this existing might be, there's lots of quite original ideas in it. You don't play as Eddie Murphy's character. The house bears little relation to the one in the film, or for that matter, the original ride. But it's a lot of fun. It's got lots of original ideas. That's pretty good.
It's a nice day, the trees are rustling, and
Another nice
RPG characters are putting bold things in their hair,
My.
thinking about burning villages. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to nip down the blacksmith and get my level 3 axe upgraded.
In a minute, this village will be on fire. I'm willing to put money on it.
Yeah. Look, she's perfectly happy. That won't last.
No, something's going to happen. There'll be a lightning strike, some sort of action hitting.
This bloke's looking for trouble.
Is it a bloke?
Yeah, it's a bloke.
Oh, really?
So,
It's all right. You'd probably buy FF10 too, though, wouldn't you?
or Dark Chronicle.
Dark Chronicle, very good as well. I like the character design in this again. It's just one for people who really want an RPG.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be pretty stumped. You're gonna have to play the ass off pretty much every other RPG. We were a bit starved of RPGs, but even so, there's enough. Given that the average sort of playtime of something like your FFs and stuff is going to last you 60 to 100 hours, you know, you're going to have to be really terminally unemployed to be running short of time to want to You know, it's like, well, what am I going to do all March? Well, I can get this. No.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
I'll play this in between FF10 too.
Yeah. All right, it's pretty good. Oh yeah.
Payu Pop.
Coloured bubbles.
This is good, this though. Really is.
Yeah.
Puzzle games, generally pretty good.
Puzzle games are always good, but they always
Yeah.
look like they could be running on a Commodore 64 or, you know?
It does its little 3D bits, and it's got its characters.
So it even tells you how to play it. But the good thing with this is it's got that ultimate risk reward dynamic, where you can play in your mate and he can have all his screen like empty. You think he's going to win, and you'll have loads of stuff on your screen, and he's probably thinking, "Oh, I'm going to win this round." But then you drop in one bubble, which causes a ginormous chain reaction. Then he's crying into his blobs.
It's playing games like this 2-player is great, and because basically the better you do on your side, the more you punish the guy on the other side, and there's nothing quite like that.
Look at that for a blob,
Curse
that
you
massive
for
one.
doing that to me kind of game dynamic of two people side by side playing against each other. It's a great 2-player game, and you know, I don't think you need to know how to play. I mean, it's obvious. You line up the colours, things burst. If you get to the top of the screen, you've had it. It's dead simple, and it's a lot of fun.
Cheap this as well.
Is it really?
Which is what it should be, because otherwise, I mean, you'd never pay £40 for it.
Yeah.
You mean you go into the shop and you go, what do I buy today? James Bond with Shannon Elizabeth and all those other people, or Payu Pop Fever where I drop Magic Bean.
Now this was my favourite game of the month last month. Downhill Domination, the fastest thing on 2 wheels, I tell you.
Very good.
Technical sections, this is the French Mountain, which is relatively technical, but a lot of them are just straight downhill blasts. Seriously, your eyeballs pop damn near out of your head the first time you play it. You can, huge ears.
Yeah.
Pedaling as fast as you like. You got sprint power, so you can pedal faster in certain sections. You got to watch out for the animals too, which is one of the interesting aspects of Downhill Domination. Sheep, rams.
On bikes?
Yes, things with big antlers. Here comes one. Oh, bit of a speed burst there. No, she's a fast game. I really liked it.
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
Very SSXy.
Yeah, that's it.
Very much so.
But that's good. That's a good thing. And it's not just one of these like, I don't want to name names, one of these MX something games or MTX or X Factor bike monster games where it's just like you just know what you're going to get. At least this is a good, honest racing game. And I like that purity of it, and it looks really nice.
The environments, each different level has a different sort of different interactive elements. I mean, the Japanese level, there's Japanese hot spas, and you end up chasing people out of the pools. The level we just saw, there's lightning storms further down the mountain, trees getting hit and exploding all around you.
It's interesting, like SSX, there's an awful lot of kind of racing in it. You kind of going in a straight line a lot of the time. Then there's some bends. That was well timed.
Yeah, this is a technical section right
but
here.
you know, for racing sections, for me, it's all about bendy bits. But this is kind of this non-stop sort of hurtle forwards, really.
But the thing is, by the time you've seen something, you're going so fast that it's past you. So you have to be able to react really quickly, even though it's relatively straight line racing half the time. If you see a little dot on the horizon in a quarter of a second, you've already hit it.
It's nice. Very confident the way that it chucks stuff about, and I reckon that they can only hone it and make it even better for them.
It was a Sony America game and quite a big deal for them over there, which was eventually picked up by Codemasters. Well done, Codys. Bond. We've been possibly expecting you. Yeah, it's weird this. It's going to sell 7 billion copies, even though I don't especially like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very good. Even I might think I'd buy it. Which is outrageous, really. You almost feel like you've got to do your thing and just pay your money and go, well done, EA, for getting all these people together. Here's the money to reward you for that.
It's the ultimate video game in lots of respects, as terms of licensing, and it's got an original soundtrack. It's got an intro that looks like the start to a James Bond movie. It's got all the characters. They really have pulled out absolutely all the stops to do it. And then gameplay-wise, it's so friendly and fun, and You know what you're supposed to be doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, there's a massive red arrow just behind you pointing at the thing that you need to throw the grenade
A
at.
bit with the rappel section where you're not quite sure what you've got to do for a split second. Then a man goes past on a rappel line and you go, maybe that's what I've got to do. But no, that's not enough. The game has to move the camera to a rappel point and go, look, you've got a rappel down that section, the man rappelled down. Outrageous. And the helicopter bits, pretty rubbish. Driving bits, it's like
rubbish.
it's like being in a big fat suit. Who's that Dunlop man? It's like being like him, all rubbered up, and you can't really go wrong with it.
I hope we show the free falling off the cliff section. Isn't that by far
Should
the best part,
Yeah,
part
that's
of the
cool.
game?
That's
I
quite
mean,
clever.
Madness, typical James Bond style. Not only are you falling off a cliff, but people are shooting at you, and you have to shoot back and dodge outcroppings of rock on the way down. That's got to be the most spectacular part of the game.
It's even got a rally level. It's got absolutely the lot, and it's all, as I say, really, really friendly and obvious. And if you wanted to sit down and cane it in a weekend, you could do that, and you could say, you know what, I really enjoyed that. You know, as far as a deep, clever game goes, it's it's telling you what buttons to press, it's telling you where to go, it's giving you the whole thing on a plate and this experience. If you want that, get it in, because it's the best of the lot so far.